My name's Alyssa. I'm just working part-time here with the Mississauga Mustangs. It's been about a month now since I started. Before working at Vector, I worked at Shoppers Drug Mart for a month. Didn't last very long. And then I also worked at the MS Society for 2 months. Both of them are kind of like contract jobs. I've never been able to find something that's been actually stable for the full summer, like a solid summer job, 8 to 5, Monday to Friday. Because I'm a very competitive hockey player. I train every day. I dedicate most of my summer to training for hockey, and then during the school year is hockey.
Wait, do you know a girl named Kelly Babstow?
Yeah, I do. So yeah, I've never really had any luck finding a job that would cooperate with my hockey schedule. So at the beginning of the summer, after constant nagging from my parents to get a job, but obviously I wanted a job as well, I decided to search online. I was looking at everything. I was driving around Mississauga, sending out my resumes everywhere. Handed out at least 45 or more resumes. No one's hiring. Kind of sucks, Same thing. So, anyways, I was on talentegg.com, which sounds like the most random search engine for a job, but my brother had told me about it. So I found this Vector marketing, and I'm like, I don't even know what this is, but whatever. Send my resume in. I get a call within half an hour saying, hey, want to come in for an interview at 5 o'clock today? I'm like, well, I'm jobless. I have nothing else to do, so sure. So I went in for an interview. And then basically, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I remember talking to Denise at the end of the interview and being like, so what exactly is this job? I had no idea. And she's like, oh yeah, we're selling Cutco. And I was like, oh, my mom has Cutco. And so I go home, tell my parents about it, and obviously my parents are kind of like, you're selling knives. And my dad was kind of like, more so knives really. My mom was like, well, at least it's Cutco knives. Here, look, I've got my petite carver and my paring knife right here. So needless to say, my mom was the easiest sale. So yeah, the thing that I loved about the job was that it was flexible. I can work around my schedule. I can do my demos when I can fit them in. Basically, that's awesome. You can't find any jobs that can do that. But I also liked that it was giving me the opportunity to gain more experience in a field that I had no experience in before. I'm a kinesiology major, studying the human body and the way it moves. Has absolutely nothing to do with sales, so this is kind of giving me something else to put on my resume besides something sciencey, right? So anyways, back to my parents. I had told them, and they had kind of been skeptical about it, of course. So I finally convinced them to come to the parents' meeting, and it was literally not, it was 5-10 minutes before the parent meeting, I get a text message from my parents, okay, we're coming. I was like, okay. So they just show up in Toronto, and they ended up winning a cheese knife and a bottle of wine and 2 wine glasses in a prize basket that they got. So after hearing Rob Chung talk and Mike Smith, the division manager, or the district manager, right? But yeah, after hearing all that and kind of hearing the opportunities that it was going to be able to give me, they kind of finally bought into it, and they're like, okay, this is pretty cool. And so I go home, I go to bed, I wake up in the morning, and I go down to our kitchen, and I'm sitting at the table. She's got 2 pieces of paper sprawled out on the kitchen table, and she's got her phone book out. I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? She's like, well, I couldn't sleep last night, so I came downstairs and I decided to write down all the people that I know and their numbers. So here you go, start calling. And I was like, okay, thanks, Mom. So yeah, she helped a lot. And then, yeah, so anyways, during my fast start, I went to probably the same people we went to, family, friends, everyone who's close to you, you're comfortable with. So for me, Mother's Day, that was the weekend that I start, Mother's Day weekend, actually turned out to be beneficial. I thought it was going to be kind of a hit, I was like, oh crap, I'm not going to sell anything, it's Mother's Day, the family's going to be around, everyone's going to be busy. But my whole family ended up coming to my house, and I kind of just took them one by one, come see my knives, my aunts, uncles, grandparents, everyone. So yeah, I had a really good fast start. But yeah, as I mentioned before, my first sale was my mom. She already had the Cutco, so it was quite an easy sale. She's like, these knives are awesome. I want to get this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. I was like, sure, go for it. But yeah. So after reaching my first promotion, after the first week in sales, I was invited to a special meeting called the SLDM meeting with our division manager, Mike Smith. So here I learned kind of how to some ways in which to sell like the ultimate sets, the signature sets, and we also talked about like the different ways that you can advance within the company. So it was really cool. I learned a lot there. Well, after that, I ended up finishing my fast start with about 3,200 CPO, approximately, somewhere around there. But yeah, as we were talking about with Joe just earlier, the hardest part for me was getting recommendations. I felt like the biggest pain, like asking people for recommendations, like being like, oh, like, can you give me people's numbers so I can go show them my knives? Like, it's just weird for me. I had trouble with it. So like I averaged maybe 1 or 2, if that, recommendations each demo, which obviously sucks. I hated it. It was driving me insane. So yeah, then I went to the SSC1, and the best part for me was talking to Rob Chung, and I talked to him and I was like, hey, like I can't get any demos, and he's like, well, say your reco approach, and I kind of looked at him like, yeah, I don't know. And he was just like, well, there you go. And I was like, okay. Okay, so I'll memorize my reco approach, fine. So, went home, memorized my reco approach, and the other tip that he gave me, and I'll share with you guys, is when you're asking someone for your recommendations and you have your recommendation sheet, give them the pen and paper, like actually physically hand it to them so that they can take the paper and the pen and now they're ready to write. I used to always just be like, thank you. And they would just kind of stare at it like, now it's my good. So anyways, after the SSC1, I had a demo that night. It was a no sale, but I ended up getting 9 recommendations, which is a record for me. So now I'm averaging about 7 recommendations each demo, which is pretty awesome, and I'm really excited about it. Due to my consistency and accountability, I was promoted to key staff at the conference, actually, which was really neat. And then on Sunday this week, I hit my 20% promotion, which is really exciting. And then my goal for the rest of the summer is to, for sure, hit at least my 30%, and my ultimate goal is to hit the 50%, which I think we can all agree would be insanely awesome, right? I also would really like to go whitewater rafting. I've been once, and it was the time of my life, despite the fact that I was scared out of my mind. But I definitely would like to go again. It was a lot of fun, and I encourage all of you to have that same motivation because it is awesome. It's so much fun. You'll never have an experience like it. So right now, like we said earlier, I'm sitting at the 53rd spot, so I'm hoping to stay up there. Yeah, and I'm really just excited about the opportunities that Vector has to offer for me, and I'm really excited about what the summer has yet to come. So that's my Vector story.